And we're back quickly, aren't we? You know what? When I tried the tonic, I was drinking from something like this. And you know what? When I took the first glug, ooh, it tasted like swamp juice. Doesn't taste very good, this tonic. You'll see something in the little green bottles, much more easy to handle. And there's a little message on the front. Lorraine put something on the front. It's sort of like a little procedure or way that we should be drinking this neem. Perhaps, Lorraine, you could tell us how we should be drinking it.
With the tonic, it's not toxic. There's nothing in it that's harmful. I've added absolutely nothing because I truly believe when the Lord created something, He created everything perfectly. The only thing that's in there that's not neem is water. And I buy bottled water. I don't take chances on contaminated water. I tell people on the front of the bottle it says directions to take 15 ml, which is 1 tablespoon, twice a day, followed with 6 ounces of water. Now, the reason I did that is it does taste terrible. It takes a while for people to get accustomed to the taste. Some people can drink more. It doesn't really matter. I leave that entirely up to the person trying it. I know it doesn't harm them because we saw what happened with Terry.
Right.
But it's good to just ease into it. And it shouldn't be taken by people who are either pregnant, people who are breastfeeding, people who are trying to conceive, because neem is also used as a contraceptive. So it's important that people who are trying to get pregnant, breastfeeding, or already pregnant not to take it. Now that applies to a man too. Now I know men don't get pregnant, but they certainly are involved in the
whole process.
Right? The whole process.
Right.
Exactly. So just anyone who wants to have children, or if they're trying to have a family, don't take it when you're trying to conceive.
Right. Now you mentioned the word children. Should children be taking this?
It's okay for children, but not infants. Now, you know, children today, some 10-year-olds are as tall as I am, and I'm an adult.
And heavy too, right?
Yeah. So, you know, it's like anything else. You go by weight and you go by size. So, with an infant, their organs are very tiny.
True.
And it's rare that they have the kind of problem that people have when they take this. There's really no need for an infant to take this. So, I don't advise people to give it to an infant. Children, I don't see any problem with that at all. We had 5 children sick at the orphanage. And the funny thing is, this is coming from the orphanage and they don't even know what it's good for.
Wow.
They contacted me for prayer because 5 of the children had high fevers. They were in bed for a couple of days. And they called me for prayer. And I was in the middle of praying and the Lord said, call and tell them to take 5 leaves from the tree and prepare it in a specific way and give it to the children. Now, I didn't ask what ages they were. When the Lord tells me to do something, I don't need to question Him. He knows.
Divine instruction.
Yes. So they gave it to the children. I got a message the next morning. They were all well.
Wow.
Completely and totally well. Well, it's a miracle. Yeah. And I thank God for it. Mm-hmm. It's not toxic at all. Right. And I've seen people have a bottle of neem for 2 months. There's no problem with that. It's important that you do keep it refrigerated.
Right. Don't
leave it at room temperature, whether it's open or not.
Right. Now, I notice sometimes you get the sludge at the bottom.
Well, don't let it freeze.
Yeah.
If it freezes, it's going to separate.
Okay.
And people don't like the look of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not harmful. It's not going to hurt you. But any of the solids will settle to the bottom.
Right.
Now, if you don't mind the taste, go ahead and shake it and drink it.
It's kind of like the tea leaves. We don't really...
Well, you know, some people, I leave that up to the discretion of the people. Sure. It's normal. It's going to settle to the bottom. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people just shake it and drink it the way it is. Other people just leave it on the bottom and drink.
And don't shake.
Yeah.
So settle.
But it's just neem.
Okay.
And neem is good.
What are some of the good results you're getting with this tonic?
With the neem tonic, well, that's what cured my malaria.
Right.
And I'm making the tonic from the leaf. Now, there's a lot of neem out there.
Right.
But it's important to know that not every neem tree is the same.
Right.
Now, the Lord prompted me. He pointed out the neem tree that was growing at the orphanage. It's very different from other neem trees. Many countries have neem, but it's not this neem.
Right.
And the difference is you can identify it because of the color of the leaf and the way it grows. Now, where this neem is coming from that I have, it's extremely dry there. We have to truck water into the orphanage. It's very dry. So the roots of this tree have to go very deep to be able to get any water. The leaves don't fall off either. And the color is a very light green.
Kind of like our...
Yeah, exactly.
Lime green.
Actually, behind you is the banner that says neem cream or tonic. The color on that at the darkest point would be about the color of the neem leaf from the right tree. Now, there's neem trees growing all over the place, and a lot of them are growing in tropical countries, but it's not the same. If you look at the branch of the neem tree of this particular one, there's no leaf growing out the end of it. The others do have a leaf growing out the end. That's not the same. The other difference is the color. In tropical countries and places where there's more water, the neem leaf is very dark. That's not the same neem. So people need to be aware of that too, because people are going on Google, they're going into Amazon, and they're as long as it says neem, they don't question anything. But
it's coming from what country and
it's very important. When the Lord puts things on the earth, we need His wisdom to find it. We need His wisdom to know what to do with it.
Right.
We don't take it upon ourselves to assume anything.
Okay, now you said the tonic cured other things too, because there's lots of... You said you had high blood pressure.
Well,
one of the notes said they had low blood pressure.
Well, that was the neem leaf.
Okay.
Now the tonic is made from the leaf, so whatever the leaf is doing, the tonic's going to do, because the tonic is coming from the leaf.
Okay. And circulation?
It restores circulation. Oh my goodness. Terry Smith is a prime example.
Right.
He had went to, I guess it was a heart specialist, because he had clogged arteries. And I said, Terry, the Lord can take care of that. And he said, well, I don't think it's possible to unclog arteries. Well, I didn't get into the conversation, but he was drinking the neem, and he's the one that took it like it was a Pepsi.
Right.
Well, one of the first things he noticed was the circulation came back in his hands and his feet.
Right.
Now, for circulation to come back, the blood vessels have to be open. Yeah. So obviously it worked. Amazing. It is amazing. Yeah. It really is. And he's a prime example of how quickly it can work and how well it can work for increasing blood circulation.
Right. This is the same chap with the hernia.
With the hernia? Yes.
And he explained how sore it was and how the doctor stuck his thumb in there. Ooh.
And now he has absolutely no pain, no symptom at all that there's even a hernia in his body. Amazing. That's a miracle, Bonnie. That's a true miracle.
That's right.
Yeah.
So many organs would benefit.
Yep. There's so many things. It's hard to remember them all, because I prefer that people tell their own story.
And they can go to the site and see some of the testimonies.
They can see the testimonies. One of the major things is, one friend of mine actually, I haven't seen her in many years, but Debbie Van Horn, she told me after only 1 week, she noticed that she has a lot of energy and less pain in her body. Right. And, this is really quickly.
I know, and a gout too in one person. Gout.
Oh my goodness, that's right. That's a big one.
Yes.
Yes, I had a phone call, or actually a message, asking if I thought the neem could help somebody with gout. Now, I don't know what neem's going to do, and I'm not a doctor.
No.
So I knew it wouldn't hurt her. So I said the only way to know is to try it. So apparently this lady, and she's from Arnprior, the gout was so bad that she couldn't work. She was sleeping in a chair because even the weight of a blanket on her foot would hurt.
Wow.
And it was swollen. 2 days later, I get a message back saying that all the pain and swelling is gone and she's gone back to work.
So inflammation, yeah, it goes.
I don't know much about gout, but I do know that that's not normal.
Right. Yeah. Well, when I take it at night, it helps me to sleep. It seems to calm me down.
That's another
and then
thing.
I get the energy when I take it in the morning, so it's a
Isn't
win-win situation.
It's
Right?
really funny,
It's really good.
how it's working?
Quite good. Now, this is internally. Can you also do something with it externally? Can you rub it or?
The NEEM tonic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody has ever done that.
Yeah.
It certainly wouldn't hurt you. I mean, I'm making other products with the leaf.
Right.
It's still neem.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. The wonderful word of neem. Right. Okay. Anything else we want to add, my dear?
About the neem
Oh,
tonic?
how we started out with, the prices and how we could get, good deals. Well, everyone wants a deal, right?
Well,
Even the Irish.
Everyone wants a deal.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
do you remember I started this using an empty water bottle.
with mine.
That's exactly what I was using.
Sorry.
And of course I didn't charge anybody because it doesn't cost me anything for the bottle, but you have to understand, I have to import this from India. It's not cheap to bring neem here. And it was almost impossible, but I'm getting it, thank God. So there's a cost to cover to get it here. I work full time, so I don't need to make money off of it for myself. But it does need to support the orphanage. I also have labeling and packaging and marketing that it has to cover. It's got to cover its own expenses. So I started off introductory price. There's 3 products now. There's tonic, cream, and oil. So I started off with $10 per bottle. But that didn't cover the cost for the tonic because it's 12 ounces. And it's a 12-ounce bottle. The bottles I have to import from the U.S. They're the only ones who can give me these nice green bottles.
And duty included.
I had to pay the duty on top of that. And I have to pay the exchange rate from Canada to the U.S. And to get it here, the shipping is more than the cost of the bottle.
Yeah.
So I've priced the tonic at 12 ounces at $15. But if they take 2 bottles, they can have 2 for $25.
Good deal, right?
Well, it's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
And the shipping too, you can go 1 to 5 and it's the same Canadian amount, right?
I'm only
$50.
shipping in Canada.
Yes.
I checked the cost of shipping through a courier. It was over $30. That doesn't make any sense. The cheapest shipping I could find was Canada Post.
Right.
And again, the Lord is amazing because Canada Post is supposed to take a week. I've had it delivered within 24 hours.
Amazing.
From the time I created the label online to the time that it was in their hands in Ottawa. And we're living in Renfrew, Ontario.
Definitely the price is right. Right? Look what it does.
Look what it does.
It does.
Yeah. Praise God for
Praise
neem.
God.